All right, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to show you in this particular video what I am doing with a dividend trap. All right. If you've been around or if you've seen some of my previous videos on this company, Prospect Capital, the ticker symbol is PSEC. Once again, that's Prospect Capital, PSEC. If you've been around and you've seen my analysis on this particular stock, then you already know that I think that this stock is, in terms of value, it is one of the worst stocks that you could ever possibly add to your portfolio. However, okay, stocks like this do have its use. They do have their use. Now, let's keep in mind that Prospect Capital is a monthly paying dividend stock, and that is the allure of the stock itself. And aside from that, not only is a monthly paying dividend stock, but the price of PSEC to own PSEC right now is very, very, very low. It's down near some of its all-time lows. Okay, right now the price to own PSEC is under $6. At one point, Prospect Capital was over $11 a share. So that gives you some insight as to just how much this particular stock has dropped, right, in overall appreciation. So as we go forward, I have not sold any shares of Prospect Capital. And right now, okay, we are going to go into my Robinhood portfolio where I own the most shares of Prospect Capital. And I'm going to show you exactly what is happening on a monthly basis, how much it's giving me, how much it's paying me in dividends, and what I'm doing with those dividends, and how I'm using this dividend trap to buy me more shares and to continue to grow my portfolio without me adding anything else to it. All right, so let's get to it, and hopefully you enjoy this video and you get something out of it. All right, so I have Prospect Capital pulled up here. Again, as of right now, this is pre-market recording. The price is $5.67. Mind you, if you go to the max chart, you can see, again, at one point, Jesus Christ, at one point Prospect Capital, near its conception, was up to anywhere from $15, reached a high of $17, and has dropped considerably since then, okay, on the all-time max chart. And you go back, that's what, 2005, 2004, right? So we have almost 20 years of data to look at and to know that Prospect Capital is not a value play, obviously, right? It is not a value play. So what can you do with Prospect Capital if you are a dividend investor? Again, dividend investor. We already know that Prospect Capital is a trap. Is a dividend trap. We already know that the value of the company and the value of this stock is not going to increase over time, right? They've already had some negative things that we don't like to see in the market as far as decreasing dividend returns and decreasing dividend payouts. That's never a good sign, and we're going to go over that data in a minute. But right now, I want to show you what Prospect Capital, what I'm doing with it, and how much it's getting me. Right now, you see my market value, $973, okay? 900, well, it just dropped, but it's about 970 bucks that I have. And my average cost for this is $6.45. So you can see that as a result, I am down over $135 in this particular stock. It's about almost 5% of my portfolio. And listen, right now, you can see right there the upcoming activity. I am due to be paid out $10.31 in around the 18th of this month. And I am allowing those shares. Listen, let me tell you something. The power of dividend compounding, the power of reinvesting all of your dividends is truly one of the greatest wonders of the stock market. Let me drop down here so I can show you. The history. We're going to click on show more. As you can see here, let me go all the way to the top. Again, next payment is $10.31. I own about 172 or 73 some odd shares of this. I don't know. I can't tell you how many shares have been bought just off of dividend reinvesting. Okay. I don't invest in Prospect Capital anymore, right? I haven't put any money into Prospect Capital in quite some time. All right. I won't say that I haven't put anything in there this year, but if I have, it's been very, very minimal funds. The majority of my investing in Prospect Capital this year has come from dividend reinvesting. And so if you see that $10.31, well, $10.31 right now at a price point of $5.60 some odd cents, it's almost buying me 2 shares every single month. Just from dividend reinvesting alone, it's almost netting me 2 shares a month. And it will get to a point eventually where it is buying me 2 shares a month, which we all know the dividend, we're going to go over that in a second. But I want to drop down and show you. So you can see my dividend payouts and payments increasing over time. Just from the look at that. So I got a stock lending payment with Robinhood. You have an option. They're going to ask you if you invest with Robinhood. They're going to ask you if you want to allow your stocks to be a part of the program, of their lending program. And I said yes, because what else am I doing with the stock? I'm not doing anything with it right now. So yes, you can lend my shares out, whatever. And they pay you for that, right? So you see that little payment there. That's where that comes from. But you'll see the reinvested, right? That number is increasing as time goes on. You'll see that the number has grown. It was at $9.96, $9.86. It's done nothing but increase, right? With those shares that I'm buying. You'll see there, I purchased 1.6 shares just from reinvesting those dividends. And, look at that. Okay, so I had a market buy at 2 shares. Yep, 2 shares, $12, 2 shares. And that was back in January 16th. So you can see the power of compounding, right? And the power of reinvesting those dividends. And you can see that right now, it's a hands-off type deal. I don't even have to come back. Listen, I don't have to do anything with Prospect Capital right now. Right now, it's paying for itself. That price, let me go back here. Let me go back here and show you something. Because here's what isn't factored in. What's not factored in my overall return for this stock, for PSEC, is it doesn't account and it doesn't equate and it doesn't include all of those dividend payments. Those have not been included. All right. Those have not been included in my total return. So you see that total return of, well, I'm down $135. You say, well, that's a terrible investment. And normally I would agree with you. However, we have to keep in mind that does not factor in all of the dividend payments that I have received over the months and throughout the year of Prospect Capital. So at a price point of, let's just say $10 right now, paying me out every single month. Well, obviously 10 times 12, that's $1.20. That's not $1. That's $100 and that's $120 every single year. It's going to be more than that because, again, compounding, right? But just as a base, well, I'm netting in $120 a year off of this one stock alone, right? Off of this one stock. So I just want you to think differently. I think differently about this. I already know it's a terrible company. I already know that it's a dividend trap. Okay, we already not have that information. But right now, what Prospect Capital is giving me in my dividend payments is getting me over $10 a month. Right? Every single month, it's getting me $10 a month. Now, here's the downside to that. Hold on, let me go back up and see. Okay, yeah, you see, I own 171 shares. But here's the downside to that. Let's go over to stockanalysis.com. Over on Stock Analysis, if we put in Prospect Capital, we pull up the list. We go over to dividends. You can see that the price has decreased over time. It went from at one point 11 cents down to 8 cents per share, down to what it's paying out now, which is 6 cents per share. And let me tell you that that is not good news. All right. That's not good. If you look at the dividend chart here over the course of, let's say, the last 10 years, let's click on max. Oh, I can't. You got to pay for that. All right. That's all right. Just look at the course over the last 10 years. Over the course of the last 10 years, it went from 11 cents all the way, and it's dropped all the way down to 6 cents per share. Well, obviously, that's not great news, right? Because that means that you essentially got a pay cut. You took a pay cut. That's what that means. You took a pay cut. Now, I think that Prospect Capital right now, with it being down near some of its all-time lows, for me, I have to say that this is a buying opportunity. Why? It gives me a chance to lower my cost basis, which is right now over $6. My cost basis for PSEC right now is over $6. And right now, it's steady. It's been at 6 cents for quite some time. I don't know how that will go going forward, but you can see here that it's been at 6 cents per share since 2017. So for the last 7 years, it's been at 6 cents, and we've seen no changes. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, that we're not going to see any changes in the future, right? Obviously, that means they could drop down to 4 cents per share. We don't know. I just know that the company itself isn't looking very good on the charts. However, you have to invest for you. You have to invest for you, and you have to figure out your strategy. If your strategy is, listen, I just want to get as many dividend payments a month as possible. I just want to increase my overall value per month and dividend payouts by whatever amount that I can at the cheapest value I can, then Prospect Capital might be for you. I'm not telling you to buy or not to buy. I'm just telling you how I'm using Prospect Capital in order to build and continue to grow my position and, as a result, my monthly dividend value. That's me. But you can see here, the dividend has paid every month, and the next ex-dividend payment is coming up. Now, if you go to the forecast, it's not going to be any good news, I promise you. If you go to the forecast, they only got 2 analysts, and they got a price forecast for this stock, and the average target is $5.38 with a low estimate of $5 flat and a high estimate of $5.75. So the average target predicts a decrease of nearly 5% from the current stock value price of $5.66. And all of that information means that they consider Prospect Capital a sale. Okay, they consider it a sale. They say that you should probably go ahead and sell all your shares and get away from this company and get out of this because you're losing value and you're losing money. And obviously, if you invested from the point of, since it debuted on the NICE, if you invested from the very beginning, then no doubt you have lost a crap ton or a lot of stock appreciation, right? Again, that has not factored in and does not factor in all of those dividend payments that you've gotten, though, throughout the years. So listen, what is the point of bringing up Prospect Capital? Prospect Capital is a dividend trap. However, how you choose to use it and employ it, I mean, hindsight is always going to be 2020. Yes, I could have put this money, that $1,000, I could have put that into another stock and been up a crazy amount, right? But I also could have done worse, right? So it's a give and take. Because I haven't totally missed out on value, because again, I've gotten payments every single month. This company is paying me just to own these shares. So it's all in how you look at it. Yes, I could have put that $1,000 into Apple or Tesla or even Nvidia, right, and been up a substantial amount of money, obviously, right? But we don't realize that growth until we sell out of the shares, until we sell those shares. So my point is, invest how you want to invest. Come up with your strategy. execute your strategy and feel comfortable, get to the point where you're comfortable enough in your own strategy that you can filter out everybody else's noise, right? That you can filter out all of the things videos that you come across YouTube where somebody telling you to stay away from it, do not invest in it. I don't tell you that. I try not to tell you all that here. You invest in whatever you want to invest in, as long as you're aware of the risks and you're able to evaluate the stock and understanding what you're getting in return for your money. That is it. It's up to you to decide if a company like Prospect Capital is worth keeping in your stock portfolio. I'm telling you what I'm doing with it right now. I haven't invested in Prospect Capital in quite some time, at least in this portfolio. I do have it as part of my dividend portfolio just to fluff it up and give it some extra. Again, my price point in my other portfolio, my price point is lower than $6 right now. It's around $5 and I think 70 cents. So again, I just want that steady dividend income, and throwing $5 at this. Listen, I spent $5 on worse. All right, I spent $5 on worse. I spent $5 on something that's not going to pay me out a payment every single month, right? So that's my mindset about it. This has been Prospect Capital, and I just wanted to give you all some insight on what I'm doing with particular stocks like this, because there's more in my portfolio that I have that are like Prospect Capital in terms of returns, right? But you all let me know what you think about Prospect Capital down in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.